Sheetal and welcome to IELTS with Sheetal. Today we're gonna focus on the reading part of the IELTS examination. And I think most of the students find reading very difficult and challenging among all the four modules of the IELTS examination. But I believe if you understand the strategies in this reading part, then I'm sure you will find it very easy to handle this portion. So let's see some of the basics of the reading part. So let's have a look at some of the basics of the reading exam. The reading comprehension consists of 3 sections, and passage 1, 2, and 3. And there will be 60 minutes to complete this examination. And make sure that you should be able to complete each of the passages within 20 minutes. And there will be 13 to 14 questions in each section. Okay, and one thing you have to understand is that in reading comprehension, there are basically 2 types of questions. One is a fill-in-the-blank question and the other one is multiple choice question. The only thing is that there are different variations of fill-in-the-blank question and different variations of multiple choice question. Basically, both are there are only 2 types of questions, right? And then the difficulty level. The difficulty level progressively increases from passage 1 to 3. That is, what I mean is in passage 1, passage 1, the comprehension will be something that you will be able to manage. That is, most probably it will be some basics, and you will be able to understand it much more easier. But the difficulty level increases in passage 3, which means that the passage 3 is the most difficult among the 3. Okay, so what makes it difficult? Basically the questions are same. The question types doesn't change. That is, the fill-in-the-blank question can be in passage 1 as well as in passage 3. Then what makes it difficult? That is, only the level of English changes. That is, more academic level vocabularies will be coming in passage 3. So that's the difference. So IELTS reading is really a test of 2 things. That is, whether you are able to locate the part of the text that contains the answer and whether you are able to understand that part of the text. So finding the part of the text and understanding the part of the text. Just finding and understanding. This is all about IELTS reading. So now I'm going to tell you some of the tips that you can follow in your reading test. So first of all, read the question first. Don't read the passage first. First read the question and then come back to the passage, so that it will be much easier for you to find out the answers within that time. Right? So read the questions first, underline the keywords or circle the keywords, and try to find out the synonym language for that in the passage. So learn to scan the passage. That is the second tip. Learn the scanning process is very important in reading. That is, you have to be able to understand where exactly the text is, or where exactly the part of the text that contains the answer is. So that is a very important skill that you have to be familiar with in the reading examination. And the third thing that you have to follow is to learn some academic level vocabularies. And also you should be familiar with some of the synonyms for those words, so that it will be much easier for you to understand those words as well as its synonyms from the passage. Then the fourth one is to understand the question strategies. That is, you should be able to understand about the questions properly. Then only you can apply the specific strategies for the questions. Okay, and the fifth one is time management, which is very important in the reading comprehension. That is, most of the students find it's very challenging to complete this each of the passages within 20 minutes. So make sure that you spend at least 1.5 minutes, 1.5 minutes for each of the questions. Then you will be able to complete it within the stipulated time. Alright, The next tip is that you don't have to do the questions in order from 1 to 40. That is, you can do the easiest first. Our goal is to get a 30 or 34, 30 for academic students and 34 for general students for getting S7. So we have to, all the questions carries equal weightage, that is, each one has 1 point. So that there is no point in concentrating on each and every questions. Our only aim is to get that 30 questions correct. So try to always do the easiest first. Now you have to be able to understand that there are some questions that always goes in order and some others don't. Now by questions that goes in order means that there are certain questions that say for example, if suppose question number 1 is in paragraph 1, then question number 2 will be following that paragraph and 3 will be following the second paragraph. Alright, so what I mean is, if we are able to locate question number 1 and 3 because they contain some dates or proper nouns, then it will be easier to locate. Then the question number 2 will be obviously in between 1 and 3. That is meant by the questions that goes in order. Okay, so try to find out the easiest ones first. Okay, and then it will be much easier to locate the difficult ones. So the first thing that you have to do is find out which all questions comes in order. Okay, and then try to underline the keywords in the question. Then come back to the passage and try to find out those part of the text and locate the synonyms of that keywords. Okay, and then you have to apply the specific question strategy. Okay, now in the coming videos I will be dealing with all the question strategies and the examples for that. Then it will be clear for you what all strategies have to be used in certain questions. Alright, so let's see some of the questions that always goes in order. The first one is fill in the blank question, then the short answer type questions, then yes, no, given question. So it is the most popular type of questions that always goes in order, and they love this type of question. You can expect this anywhere in the passage, that is they'll come up in each of the passages. And also this is most of the challenging part that most of the students find. So the next two is the multiple choice questions and the flow charts. So these are the question types that always goes in order. But there are certain questions that don't goes in order, or sometimes they go in order. So what are these? That is a paragraph location question. That is one of the hardest one, and I recommend to do that at last. Then matching question, it is very easy to do. And then sentence completion question, that sometimes they goes in order and sometimes they don't. So make sure that you check the first 3 questions, then you'll understand whether it goes in order or it doesn't. Okay, then a table that mostly goes in order. And then summary question sometimes that goes in order and it's very difficult, so I recommend this to do that last. And then diagram type questions, and then pick 2 or 4 from the list, and that's also very difficult, and try to do that in last. So always make sure that you do the question that goes in order first, and then save some questions for the last. That is the difficult part, which doesn't goes in order. Okay, so this is the most important strategy that you have to follow. All right, so there are 4 questions which you never do first. Okay, matching headings you never do it first, and a paragraph location question, then pick from a list question, and a summary question. Suppose that most probably the paragraph location questions comes first, and then it will be followed by fill in the blank question or yes, no, given question. Then first of all you do the easiest one, and that goes in order, that is fill in the blank question, and yes, no, given question always goes in order. So try to do that first and then come back to the paragraph location question. so that by this time you'll be able to go through this passage, and you'll be able to understand what all things are mentioned in the passage, and you have a prior idea about the passage, so that it will be easier for you to locate the answers or find the paragraph and to do the paragraph location question. So these are the strategies or the tips that I have to give now regarding the reading comprehension. And in the coming videos, I'll try to answer some of the reading passages, and then it will be much more easier and clearer to you how to tackle this reading comprehension. So that's all for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.